Howdy, friends. I just finished work on the new audio filters module for CircuitPython, and I figured I'd just show it off for you to give you something to listen to and not have to set it up yourself. So what I have here is just a Pimeroni Pico 2 plus. It doesn't matter. We are only developing on RP2350 architecture at the moment. There are potentially plans to extend that to other chips, but we're just playing it safe for now, so that's fine. And then I just have a PCM 5102A module over here. It's a simple I2S DAC, nothing special. And then that's connected to my computer, my audio interface. And let's get over to the actual thing. So here's the PR on the side. You can go through it and make any comments, edits if you're interested, and read into the original issue as well as the work that Mark did on the audio delays stuff. There is, in the documentation of the actual code, there is a pretty simple example using synthio.note objects. That's a little redundant because synthio.note already has a filtering system, and so it's not really necessary. But really what we're doing is we're using the same biquad filters provided by synthio.biquad. Here we go. We're using these same objects and the same processing they use because, why do the work twice, right? In our effect, but we're making it so that you can actually apply it to other audio sources such as a microphone, guitar input, potentially. We haven't actually looked into this, or audio sources, etc. So what I'm using here is the Street Chicken wave file. That is an audio out. It's in this learn guide here. So you can go down there and download it yourself if you're interested in trying this out. And then in my code, I have a Q factor. That's for the resonance. Right now I'm using 2.0 just so you can hear it a little bit. Even though typically if you wanted a smooth filter, it would be like 0.7-ish. I think that's somewhere in Synthio they talk about that. And then I just have my I2S out, have a wave file here that we're loading up and with audiocore.wavefile. Now here's the kicker. I am doing a synthio.synthesizer object here with the channel count sample rate provided by that wave file. So you could use different wave files for this too. The reason why is because the functions to build the low pass filter, high pass filter, and band pass filter biquad objects are within the synthesizer object. Maybe someday in the future, if we use biquad more often, we might, maybe we'll make that more of a static method or something like that. It's out of my field. I'm just doing this for now. But then we create our effect. Now, this is overriding the default filter. There's a Python thing for filtering arrays and stuff like that. I'm doing that for now. It overrides the global scope of it. But you can do something like filter effect and get the same thing. It's fine for now. So we're setting a buffer size. Most of these effects will have a buffer size. 1,000 is fine. I think the default's 512 or something. And then we're setting the channel count and the sample rate. Now there is a mix property in this, which does work. I need a little bit more testing because the effect is kind of weird, mixing in the original audio and the mixed audio. But I could see it being useful if you use this filter for like a wah effect, which I'm definitely going to try at some point, like on a bass guitar or something like that, where you want those bass sounds in there. Excuse me, there you can see me. I could see where that mix would be useful if you just want a little bit of the wah, and then keep the low notes of the bass or something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to look into it too much at this point. I just moved that over from audio delays. It can be removed if it's deemed unnecessary. By default, the actual filter property, because it is in here in the parameter list, will default to none, which when that's the case, it just passes through the audio, which I think is pretty much ideal. So you shouldn't experience a performance hit or anything if you just have that filter effect on your audio and you only implement it every now and then. It should be totally fine. In order to actually set that filter, which we're doing over here, it's filter or filter effect, whatever you're calling your filter object, dot filter equals the biquad filter object, which in this case, we're using the synth that we created earlier, the synthio.synthesizer object, and we're using that low pass filter method to provide the frequency and the Q factor. If you leave this out, it'll use the default, which is like 0.7, like I said before. I'm just doing this here so you can change it and hear what it sounds like. I'm using some interpolation to provide the frequency. It'll get printed out, and I'm just using some built-in buttons. In my case, I'm not using a pull-up because my buttons already have a pull-up on them for whatever reason on this test board here. Let's listen to it. Let's enough of this. Let's boom, boom, boom. No, wrong one. There we go. So I'm just gonna start up that script, and you'll hear. Yeah, there's our chicken. And I'm gonna press these buttons to go through. In fact, there we go. So you can see the output here. So by default, we're using the Nyquist frequency, which is a 2250 or 22,050 hertz file sample rate. So by default, it's half of that, which is 11,025 hertz. And as I press this button, we'll go through it. Oh, got a little craziness there. Yeah, especially with a higher Q factor, which I'm going to stop that. With a higher Q factor resonance, right, you can get some weird feedback, especially with the algorithm they're using. But you could kind of hear that come to play, the resonance. If you chose something a little bit more lighter, like 0.7, it'll be a little more subtle. I could see this being really useful for like a DJ thing. Maybe we'll do some DJ mixer or something. You got to do, I don't know, whatever. It sounds good to me. I think the next step up from this would, I guess, be an EQ of some sort, but this was kind of the easiest option to get started with the audio filters module. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. If you'd like to hear anything else, let me know. Follow the PR if you're interested, and to learn more and see more effects get added. If you have anything in mind that you would like to see added, please let me know. We are actively working on this, and hopefully we'll get a lot more effects by the end of the year. So anyway, y'all have a good one. Bye.